Good morning. Welcome back to the Red Mic. Happy Tuesday. It is August 12th, 2025. Thanks for being here. Today's Red Mic message, but before I get into it, Red Mic messages are leadership and life lessons picked up from 25 years as a public servant, 16 years as a youth football coach and scouting volunteer, and 10 years as a mediocre athlete with far more heart than actual physical ability. Shed a little light on the subject there. Today's Red Mike message: the quiet poison of toxic workplaces. Toxic workplaces don't always yell, they chip away at you. Um, was on LinkedIn the other day and I saw this list of signs and reasons and issues all related to toxic workplaces. A guy named Moston Wilson. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. Former KPMG guy, and he now talks and writes about how to unlock high performance from people at work. And he did this piece. It was called "The Seven Signs Your Confidence is Being Slowly Destroyed at Work." It's an expose of sorts about toxic workplaces. And sometimes toxicity in work is subtle. It doesn't yell. You know, you may recall I talked about I had a toxic boss who thought he was the smartest guy in the room, regardless of what room he was in. He had his genius certificate up on the wall showing that he was a member of Mensa. All of his pictures faced out so you could see them. Look at me, look at my family, look how glorious everything is. And one of his favorite things to do would be to hold up a hand and have you talk to the hand over and over and over again. Or quite often, and more often than not, he would use the hand to get you to shut up. Um, a toxic workplace, again, it doesn't always yell or threaten. Sometimes the toxicity is subtle and it chips away at you. It wears you down bit by bit. You start questioning yourself. It's almost gaslighting in some ways. You downplay your wins. You work overtime for seemingly no reason other than to show that you're a team player. And you get to the point where you feel grateful for having that job. It really ought to be both ways. Yes, you should be grateful for your job, but the job should be grateful for you too. They should trust you enough to do what they hired you to do. Um, so here are Mr. Wilson's seven signs of a toxic workplace, of the signs that your confidence is being destroyed at work. Achievements are minimized. You know, hey, that's great. Go away. Do something else. Constructive feedback is not really constructive. It feels like an attack. Um, it's passive aggressive. Overtime is regular, it becomes the norm, and it's never appreciated when it is. Your boundaries are labeled as attitude problems. Well, you just need to be more of a team player. Yeah, I know you don't like to do that. I don't like to do that either, but here I am. I'm doing it. Success is always out of your grasp. It's almost impossible to achieve. If you're continually reaching for a goal and that goal keeps changing, it keeps shifting, and you're never really allowed to win, that's that's a sign that they're knocking your confidence away. Um, and again, you're told to be grateful for your job. Again, gratitude should be both ways. Yes, your employees should be grateful to have that job, but you should be grateful for them as well. Um, I've mentioned this before. I went out of my way all the time um, at the Cairo board when I was the ED there to let my people know, hey, I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for doing what you do. We couldn't get it done without you. And do I think that they were grateful for their job? Yeah, but I was equally grateful for them. So again, achievements are minimized. Constructive feedback feels like an attack. Overtime becomes the norm. Boundaries are labeled as attitude problems. Success feels impossible to achieve, and you're told to be grateful for your job with no reciprocity at all. So, if you are in a position of leadership, if you're in a position of authority, you've got a responsibility to build your people up, build their confidence. Don't break it. Breaking their confidence, breaking their will, that's not a sign of stable leadership. That's a sign of a toxic workplace. That's a sign of a place that's completely dysfunctional. So stop it. And if you're on the receiving end of this stuff, your value is not determined by how others treat you. Boundaries aren't attitude problems, and overtime should not be the norm. It should be occasional, it's a sprinkling. Respect has got to go both ways. If they don't respect you, look for something else. You owe it to yourself. I say this every day, life is short, and it is. So if you recognize any of these things going on in your workplace, you owe it to yourself. You owe it to your family. You owe it to your partner. You owe it to everybody in your life, but especially you owe it to yourself. Find something better. Move on. There's other jobs out there. It may take you a while, but start looking. Get ready to walk out the door because you need to. Thanks again to Moston Williams. I loved this list. Had to get it out. Um, Again, these 7 things. Putting this into words, putting it into something that was digestible. Fantastic. I'm going to keep looking for stuff that Moston Williams puts out. I I borrow a lot from a lot of people on LinkedIn. Um, you've heard me mention Justin Meacham a lot. Well, now I'm going to start looking for Moston Williams. So protect yourself, recognize these signs, and if you're in this kind of workplace, again, get out. Toxic workplaces don't always yell, they chip away at you. Eventually, there's nothing left. So find your confidence, move, get out. That's today's Red Mike message. I hope you found it interesting. I hope you find it helpful. Again, if you're in this kind of situation, you owe it to yourself to do better. Get out of there. Move on. I hope you do. Thanks for being here. I'll see you again tomorrow. As always, life is short. Drink the bourbon.